Happy Together Tuesday, everybody.
You always got to chirp in there, don't you, Brooke?
Yeah.
I know. All right, it is 2 o'clock straight up. Let's get started. Welcome, everyone. My name's Kevin Vogel. I'm going to be your host today for our Together Tuesday. We have some really great topics to run through, and luckily I have Melissa and Alex with me again. Say hello, guys.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon.
Morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming.
So for those of you that are a regular, you know that Alex and Melissa are always here to help me out. So today we have two really good subjects that we're going to cover. Number one, Microsoft Teams phone. It used to be called calling. Now they've changed it to phone. We're going to go over how it fits in, how it actually works. So we'll be walking you through all of that information. And then I know a question that Alex and Melissa get all the time is about global access control. So Alex is going to be going through that for you. And please, any questions that you might have, don't hesitate to use the chat here inside the meeting to ask whatever questions you might have. We'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So let's get into the Microsoft Teams phone. So really, this is the new way to modernize communications. And it's not just phone, as we all know, especially when you're talking about Teams. We're talking about using your voice, whether it's in a call that we're talking about, in a meeting that you're talking about, if you chat with someone and then call them directly through Teams, in other words, not dialing a number. But studies show that this is a much better way to communicate. It's also a lot more efficient and a lot faster. You waste a lot of time sometimes being in a chat and not being able to really communicate the best way possible. So having this built into all one platform is really where Microsoft is going with this concept. So the modern communication solution obviously has to be able to work both in the office and home. Now with COVID and everything going on, having the ability to be able to work from home and feel like you're at the office, make calls like you're at the office, use an office line so that when people get your phone call, they're not getting your cell phone pop up on their, caller ID or anything like that. So being able to do that is a great way, but also evolving your calling scenarios, not always using your cell phone, but maybe using a tablet where you can do and have multiple faces where you're actually working together more closely. And I know we call this Together Tuesdays, but the together mode inside of Teams is a great way for you to be able to feel like you're together in a location. And with Together built into Teams, you can have it in small groups of just up to 5 or very large groups of up to 50 on the screen all at the same time. And then there's the pressure of IT and the budget that they have. And I think they can see, and we're going to show them as part of this presentation, how modern calling solutions can be really cost effective in how they manage their calling going forward. So, we're trying to cover that for you here as part of the presentation. So this was a stat that I saw, I had to put it in here, 650 million plus phone calls in 1 month using Teams. Now that was in October 2020, right in the obviously height of COVID and everyone working from home, but still, you could see that Microsoft and Teams can handle a ton of traffic. It didn't even really push the boundaries on that 650 million. And if you look at it from just March, which is the start of the pandemic, through October, it actually exploded 11 times more in October from a calling standpoint than it was in March. So you could see big time, but you can also see that the on average calls are a quarter of the length of times for a typical meeting. So when you're having meetings, it can last and people think they have to, talk forever. In a call, you're on, you're off, you get back to work, you become more productive by just doing one-on-one calls. One of the things that I get asked, because I talk about calling pretty much all day long with customers all over the world, how is Microsoft when it comes to unified communication as a service? And you could see that this is Gartner's study. This is back in October. That's the latest study that they have out. And Microsoft is actually on top of the heap here. You can see that they're in the upper right-hand quadrant. They're above Ring Central now, above Cisco, Zoom, all of these, Google, all of these other ones that you see out there. We're going to be sending you out this presentation so you can actually go in and read the reports that Gartner puts in here and what criteria they use to make these assessments. So you could see that Microsoft isn't an also-ran. They are absolutely leading the pack when it comes to unified communications, specifically in the cloud. And that's really where this focus is at. So you can see, pretty cool. Let's talk a little bit about this business overview for calling. Reduction in leasing costs. There is no physical equipment that you need to purchase to be able to use Teams as your calling device, especially if you're going to use Teams client on your PC using speakers and a microphone. There's really no upfront cost in there. So it can be a huge reduction in device cost. You can absolutely minimize travel. And I think we proved that during COVID. I mean, we've been as productive in our virtual meetings as we were when we got on an airplane, traveled to a customer, sat there for a day, traveled back, and we really minimized the amount of travel that we've actually had to lay out during COVID. It's been a real cost savings for the corporation. And then network cost reductions, because inside of this, because all of this traffic is going through the cloud, whether you're at home, whether you're at the office, all of that traffic is actually handled by Microsoft. When you're talking about automation, this is where Microsoft and the Teams environment really shines. You can absolutely improve your voice communications. You can get productivity gains by using one platform, whether it's for collaboration on a file, whether it's speaking to them, whether it's having meetings. You can absolutely have your people more productive. And then administrative costs. You can reduce the cost of PBX administration. You don't have to have a phone guy anymore, a guy that's all his job is. Because of the integration with Teams and because of the ease of management inside the Office 365 administration portal, it really can save you quite a bit of money when we're talking about administrative costs. And then vendor licensing costs by using a single platform, by buying a single license for all your different capabilities. It's a game changer. It really is from a cost standpoint. So all of these things, you could see, this is just another chart that I saw that they put together. And whether you're a 50-seat company, a 1,000-seat company, or a large company that has 20,000 users, you could see that this can be really cost effective. I know a lot of these savings you're seeing there are in travel and entertainment costs, but it's real. It really is real. I think if you talk to the CFOs out there and how much money they've saved in travel and entertainment over this period of time with COVID, it's astonishing how much that is. And you could see big dollars. This is on a yearly basis. I mean, 26 million, 1.3, even $58,000. I mean, that's a lot of money for a company that only has 50 employees. And this is really real live numbers. We use this with our Microsoft ROI cost calculator that we can do for you. And you can give us the numbers that you feel. We can actually run this cost calculator for you and see real live numbers that you give us. So it's a great way to do this. So annual savings will be different. You know that for every customer, but these are what the averages tell us, that you could save 3 hours a week with better voice communications. You can also reduce office space by having people share cubicles, especially now with people being a hybrid situation where they're sometimes working from home, sometimes working in the office, having shared desks. I see this in a lot of companies now where it doesn't matter who's sitting where, you can plug in your device, put on your headset or use your microphone, and you're off and running. 411% return on investment in just a 6-month payback. So we're talking about real numbers here that actually can save companies a ton of money, and it's something that you need. It's not like, should I do this? You're going to do it one way or the other, whether you do it the old traditional way or whether you start to adapt into the new cloud environment. It really is a game changer to do voice now in Teams. The beauty of this is Teams phones are secure. All traffic is encrypted, so you don't have to worry about, well, I'm on my cell phone, and people can actually grab corporate information and things. It can't. I will tell you that this is a fully encrypted stream of data that's going between you and your other person. So you can increase productivity using just one app, meet your business needs from anywhere using any device, save IT time by streamlining and setting up all the management in a single portal, and then give your people the devices they need, whether it's using their cell phone, whether it's using a headset, or you could use a physical device that could actually be used for Teams calling. So here's just a quick look at how Teams calling looks inside of the Teams client, whether it's running on your iOS device or your Android device, whether it's running in Windows, whether it's in the client, whether it's in a browser. You can use all those clients to use calling. It really doesn't matter what client you're using, what device you're using. They all work very well. I use calling every day. I mean, I don't even have an office phone anymore. In fact, the phone number on my business card goes right to Teams. So it's the way that I conduct business on a daily basis, and I haven't had any problems whatsoever. So simple call experience, built in, single pane. The thing that I like about it is somebody sends you an email with an embedded phone number. Believe it or not, Windows, when you click on that phone number, knows that you use Teams to call. They actually just open Teams up, plug the number in, and you're calling that person with one click of a button. You can use any type of list that you want to put in there. You can actually build groups and even forward calls to other people. There's really not much you can't do inside of this Teams calling environment, Teams phone. Sorry, I'm still used to calling it Teams. But you can actually, the thing that I love about this is I can start a call on my desktop and move it to my cell phone because I have to go to another meeting, and I can keep on the call, change devices seamlessly to the people on the call, and actually change from device to device in less than a second. It works fantastic. You can also forward calls out of here. You can also have three-way calling if you want to add people to calls. There's really not much in here that you can't take advantage of. So here's just some of the key features that I wanted to point out. The call transfer we talked about, visual voicemail. I haven't even mentioned voicemail, but it's beautiful because it actually transcripts your voicemail. You could be in a meeting, somebody calls you on Teams, leaves you a voicemail. You can actually read the transcription while you're in the meeting, don't interrupt anyone else, and see what the call was about while you're in there. You can screen share, well, we all know about that. You can actually add participants, like I said, and of course, there's always the ability to do mobile calling from your mobile device. All these things available right now. I use it on a daily basis. So all of this stuff compared to the traditional calling features that you're so used to, now Microsoft can do it all inside of here. Even if you're talking about things like, voice enabled channels. If you want to build voice into your Teams and have a channel actually support those calls that come in and actually route them instead of to an individual, route them to a channel. It's done all the time for those people that share a call queue and things like that. It's a great way to keep track of where people are, keep notes in the system, but it's all in the same place. It's not that you have to go to this application to write notes and this application to take the call and everything else. So all of that is built in. So you could see this is voicemail. If you get one, you can see on the right-hand side, there are the transcriptions that come inside of the call. So you can actually see what people are saying. So works fantastic. Use it all the time. Call attendant. This is a question that I get from a lot of people. Can I have an attendant at the front desk that forwards calls, that takes calls and routes them? And the answer is absolutely. This is a full-blown PBX that can do all of those type of features built right into the administration portal of Teams. So very easy to manage, very easy to administer, and you can go and start it off super easy with the different features in here. By doing that, you can get things like call quality logs that are built right inside of Teams. You can monitor and resolve performance issues if people are saying that there's a problem. All of these things built right into the same interface that you're used to using today. Great, great features, the way to go. And, call management inside of Teams, like I said, whether it's just basic calling features where you assign numbers to users, or whether it's full-blown PBX features, they're all available right inside the Teams administration. You also get a full breadth of analytics. How long is the average phone call? Who calls the most? Who makes the most calls? You get all of this type of information built right into the administration portal, and it's all built around analytics. So don't think that you won't get those things. I talked about the call quality dashboard because that's a great tool that a lot of our customers are using today to see that, in this case, 1.7% of the calls had a poor quality compared to the 98.3% that were really good. So you can use all this, and it does support customized Power BI templates that you can use to send reports, whether it's to your boss or whether it's to the CEO of the company. Really great reports that are really dynamic and always changing with the influx of information that you're getting from Teams. Couldn't really ask about anything else. I put this in here specifically because I had a couple customers last week that have remote offices, and they're actually worried about high availability and having people off. So even if Teams is offline for some reason, there is a device that you can, a physical device that you can put in your branch offices, SIP trunking and PSTN traffic can go right through there, and it works. It's that next layer of high availability that you could take advantage of. So just wanted to let you know that these are just some of the devices that you can use, whether it's headsets and tablets or full-blown phones. There's a array of end user devices that you can use, everything from a basic phone through phones that have touch pads and touch screens that work great. So with that, that's really the end of mine. So we'll be more than happy to work with you on this. We're doing it for a lot of customers right now, whether it's for Teams rooms that are out there, desk phones that you have, webcams, all of these things are available, and we can help you with that. So thanks a lot for your time. This is really the platform for going forward with voice and integrating it to your whole collaboration suite. This is just some information here on the PBX you can see all the features that are in here. I'm taking up too much of Alex's time here. So I just put in maybe a couple slides too many here. So let me just get past. You can see direct routing. We do it all. If you have a PBX that you want to use Teams as the client, we do it all. We do that all the time. So just one of the things. So here you go, Alex. I'll move the slides for you. I know we're coming up here on time.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for that in detail overview of what Microsoft has to offer versus calling and the traditional way and this newer approach with Teams that we're all getting really used to using. Today, I just want to talk real briefly about the global access control within the Inscape Manage area of your platform. It used to be, for those of you that have been with us for a while, it used to be that you would go inside an individual tile and you would, inside of that tile of the Inscape platform, choose which end users you would like to delegate some responsibilities to give control to certain areas of the Inscape platform. So, some examples of this. Let's say your IT department receives regular questions about spend from other departments. You could assign those individual users that ask you these questions to have access specifically to the account info tile so that they can pull financial snapshots and prior invoices whenever they need. And you can also assign them access to the Azure cost review tile for the Azure spend side of things. Or perhaps HR and line managers wish to know adoption metrics. Well, you could assign them to have access specifically to the 365 productivity insights tile and team captain tile as well. Or maybe your IT leaders wish to delegate some of the Microsoft licensure responsibilities to non-global admins. Well, you can assign the Microsoft licenses tile and the assign tile to those IT employees that don't have global admin rights, or perhaps line managers and HR training staff who wish to have shareable how-to PDFs to share out with employees for increased adoption. Again, you could assign access specifically to the adoption tile. And how you would do this, and I'll just share my screen real quickly here. There we go. Thank you. I don't see the option to share a screen, but Kevin, if you could share that slide there for me real briefly.
I'm sorry, you want me to share what?
If you could share that slide real. Oh, never mind. I got it. So if you go to the top right-hand corner here to the gear icon, you can click into Global Access Control. And the very first time you go into here, this would be, of course, completely empty. But to assign any individual employee, either in your IT team or outside of your IT team, you just click Add Role. You would choose the individual. You would search for them. So let's say Chris. Is there Chris here? Yeah. So I would choose Chris, and then I would choose which areas of the Inscape platform, for example, productivity insights for metrics or team captain access, and I would just click add, and Chris would then be added to this list and would have access specifically to those areas of the Inscape platform without having to give a global admin access. And that's it. That's my short little thing for today. Have anybody got any questions about access to various areas of the Inscape platform? Please drop that in our chat area.
All right, well, thank you, Alex. We really appreciate that. And like Alex said, just drop it in the chat there and we will absolutely get to that. So he just did his demo. So just to let you know, next week, we're not going to have a tune-in Tuesday, but we are going to have a whole hour all about Microsoft and their security products. We're going to have two really smart guys on here. Carl and Ryan are going to be on to help you whether it's with Autopilot or Intune or Defender or all the products that are part of that suite of products now that are part of Microsoft 365. We're going to be talking about that for an hour next week. So if you haven't signed up for it, there is a link in here. Like I said, we're going to be forwarding out this presentation. If you haven't registered, go ahead and register for that. It's a great one. And then on the 24th, we're going to be talking about ransomware. And that's something that a lot of people have been asking about. So we're going to go into detail about how to protect yourself in Office and Microsoft 365 from ransomware. We're going to be talking about the Microsoft 365 SKU trial licenses and the other things that you can use as part of our CSP program. And then at the end of the month, we're going to be announcing something that's fantastic, people have been asking for, which is Inscape for AWS. Now you can have all these, well, I can't say all of them, but some of the great tools that you get in Azure, we're now developing for AWS. This is the first release, so you're not going to have as much as we have in Azure, but you're going to have a great baseline to start with, and it's going to be developed along the same lines that we're doing for Azure. And then we're also going to talk about Azure HCI, which, as you probably know it, is Azure Stack, and Azure Arc, which is just another product in that Microsoft arsenal that we talk about. So all those things are coming this month. We're going to have another big month in September. So we're putting together that schedule. If there's something that you want us to talk about in September, please drop us a note here, mention it to Alex or mention it to Melissa, and we'll try to make sure that those things get included in our Together Tuesday agenda going forward. Let's just check, see if there are any questions out there. I don't see anything right now. So we do appreciate you spending this half an hour with us every week. I hope it's beneficial. It's something that we enjoy doing with you guys. So please let us know how we can make it better for you or what we can do to enhance this. You guys have a great day and a great week. Thanks, Alex and Melissa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.